Hello everyone. Hope you're doing great. Yeah, this is Sub-Zero, so I came to freeze you ice cold. But yeah, moving on. This is my Las Vegas Grand Prix. This is my race debrief, so it was okay, I woke up like in the middle of the race, but I've caught the replays and stuff like that, and I've done my studies. So moving on, let's go from the start of the race here on the Sunday. And I think it started in the evening, about 10 o'clock in the evening. That was in Vegas. And yeah, so let's go. You had Charles Leclerc on pole position for the Ferrari. And then in second, you had Max Verstappen. And in third position, you had George Russell. So into that first turn, Max already took George Russell. He took him for the lead. No, sorry, he took Charles Leclerc and he pushed him off. So when Max pushed Leclerc off into the first turn, Leclerc came on the radio and said, "Look, he pushed me wide. If you make him keep this position, that's really, really unfair." So, the stewards, they were looking into it. The race was going. Max kept the lead. Leclerc was a second. And then on the first lap as well, Sergio Perez, he needed a front wing change because he went into the back of one of the Alpines. So I saw that. I'm like, okay, Sergio crashed. He didn't start from the front, so it was difficult for him. And then on the same lap as well, you had Carlos Sainz. He crashed into Lewis Hamilton, and he spun himself. So it was kind of a self-inflicted crash. And Carlos hasn't really been happy the whole weekend because he had to deal with the drain cover incident, and he got penalized for it. For a thing that was a natural cause. He had to take an extra engine part, so he got a 10 place grid penalty. So Carlos and Ferrari, they haven't been really happy with that. But yeah, they go talk to the organizers of the race, see if they can get any compensation. That's what they're saying right now. So on lap three, Lando had a nasty crash. Lando Norris, he had a nasty crash, and then the safety car came out. So his crash, yeah, according to analysis, it was caused by a bump on the track, and when he went over the bump, he lost control of the car and he crashed. So now you have lap eight. There was a 5 second penalty for Max Verstappen for forcing another driver off the track. And remember this incident happened on the first lap here, and it took them eight laps to make a decision. So it just shows you, sometimes the bias towards some drivers. And then on lap 16, you had Leclerc overtake Max for the lead of the race. Because Max knew he had to serve his penalty and his tires was going off. On lap 17, you had Oscar Piastri and Lewis Hamilton, McLaren versus Mercedes. There was a small collision and both had a puncture, which was not really good for the pace, trying to get into the top 10. And then on lap 18, Perez managed to find himself into second place, and because probably done a longer stint than the other drivers around him. And then on lap 25, Max Verstappen, after serving his penalty and maybe a pit stop, he had a clash with George Russell. So he tried to overtake on the inside, but George Russell said he didn't see him, so they had a collision, and George Russell received a penalty for that. On lap 28, 3 laps after, a penalty for George Russell causing a collision, so he received a 5 second time penalty for that. And then on lap 32, Sergio Perez managed to work his way, all the way up here to take the lead from Charles Leclerc, and he started in 11th position. So yeah, he started in 11th position, and you had lap 34. You had Esteban Ocon overtake Pierre Gasly for 5th. But I'm sure just before Esteban Ocon made the overtake, the team was telling him to hold position. But I'm not sure if it was before or after the overtake. I need to check that out again. So Esteban Ocon overtook his own teammate in the Alpine for 5th position. And on lap 35, you had Leclerc overtaking Perez again for the lead of the race. So after Perez taking it on lap 32, 3 laps later, Leclerc takes it away from him. And remember, this race is 50 laps out of 50. And then on lap 37, Verstappen came back and overtook the race lead from Leclerc. And then moving on, you had Leclerc. he went off in turn 12, so he on lap 43, so he lost the second position to Perez. So him losing second position to Perez, it must have been really mind-boggling for him because he was wanting to chase Max and fight for the race win. So he managed to save some energy, and on the last lap, like 50, he overtook Sergio Perez. Man, he lost the position, and then yeah, he overtook Sergio Perez into the last few turns, and then yeah, made it on past the line in second position. So here's the podium positions. So in number one, you had Max Verstappen, who has 18 victories this season, and number two, you have Charles Leclerc in the Scuderia Ferrari, and then he hasn't won the race this season. And then you have number three, you have Sergio Perez in the sister Red Bull. He won two races this season. In fourth position, you had Esteban Ocon. He drives for the Alpine. And surprisingly, you had Lance Stroll in fifth position for the Aston Martin, team. So respect and congrats to Lance Stroll, for having a good performance after receiving a lot of criticism for not doing well this season, being in a fast car and his teammate shining and stuff like that. So yeah, this is my wrap up for the Las Vegas Grand Prix. I hope you enjoy the content. So yeah, please don't forget to like the video, share it on various platforms, subscribe to the channel, and then leave a comment on the video. Let me know your opinions on the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Was it good? Was it bad? Was it a disaster or was it a success? So yeah, on to the next one.